Let's look at a chart here in more detail. Great chart in the upper right-hand corner showing us the main ones we've been discussing. Connected routes, 0. Static routes, 1. EIGRP, 90. OSPF, 110. RIP, 120. Who assigned these administrative distances to these route sources? Well, this is Cisco's chart. Cisco's chart. This chart might be different for another vendor. That's right. It might be different for another vendor. See, EIGRP, better than all the other routing protocols listed there. Why? EIGRP is Cisco proprietary. That's right. Cisco created it. Let's give it a better value than OSPF, which is an industry standard, and RIP, which is also an industry standard. So let me paint a picture for you here about what administrative distance really is. Let's say we're going on a trip, family vacation. I don't know, let's go to Wally World. How does that sound? Wally World. So what are we going to do? We're going to jump in our vehicle and drive to Wally World. I need to figure out how to get to Wally World. So let's go ahead and pick three items that can help me get to Wally World. I could use a GPS. I could use my wife, who's going to be sitting beside me on the journey. And then we could use a local gas station attendant by my house. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to rank these from best to worst. And that's what administrative distance is. It's a ranking system of best to worst information providers. So GPS, my wife, local gas station attendant. Which one's the best? GPS, wife, or local gas station attendant? I'm going to pick the GPS, okay? Don't tell anybody else, please, all right? It's just between me and you, all right? The GPS. So I'm going to give the GPS a value of 0. It's the best. Nothing can trump my GPS. I'll give my wife a value of 90. Why? Because that's what I chose. I'm going to give my local gas station attendant by my house a value of 200. All right, so did I just assign arbitrary values to my GPS, my wife, and the local gas station attendant? Yeah, there you go. There's Cisco's values that they assigned to these sources of routing information. So I'm going to trust my GPS. What that means is that if my wife, while we're driving, says something different than the GPS, I don't listen to her. Right? Again, this conversation, this discussion is just between me and you, right? Don't tell anybody else about this, especially my wife, okay? So I trust my GPS. My wife tells me otherwise, I don't listen to my wife. The local gas station attendant, I completely ignore. Why? Because their value's so high. So administrative distance can have a value from 0 all the way up to 255. 0 to 255. Are there more possibilities in here? Yes, there is. A lot more possibilities in here. You can go out to Cisco's website and look up Cisco's listing of administrative distances, and they have a complete list that you can take a look at. But these are the 5 I need you to memorize now. I need you to remember going forward. These are the basic ones I would like you to know from this point on. Connected 0, static 1, EIGRP 90, OSPF 110, RIP 120. What that means is a connected route trumps every other source of information. So let's say 10.1.1.0/24 is directly connected to us, and then all of a sudden we learn about it via EIGRP, then I ignore the EIGRP information because it's directly connected to me. Same thing with a static route. Let's say I have a route via EIGRP to 10.1.1.0/24, but I create a static route instead. That's a static route is going to be IP route 10.1.1.0/24, next hop IP address, whatever it is. Well, what does that mean? It means the static route trumps the EIGRP route, so the static route goes in the routing table. So ultimately, the administrative distance is going to inform our router which source it should utilize. So look at this example here now. Our router has learned about network B via 2 different sources of routing information. We've learned about it using EIGRP. Too far. We've learned about it using EIGRP. We've learned about it through OSPF. All right. Router connected to network A. So our router right here has to make a decision. Which way do I go to get to network B? So what I want you to picture here is the fact that we have a 10 gig link that is part of that OSPF routing protocol. And then we have 3 1 gig links that are part of the EIGRP routing protocol. So at first glance, you would look at this and say, oh my gosh, we're definitely going to take the 10 gig link because it's so much faster. No. Why? We're comparing 2 different routing protocols. So before we even look at the values, the speeds, the metrics, we must look at administrative distance. Which one's better? Lower is better. EIGRP wins. It's 90. What that means is that router A has now decided what? I am going to send all packets to network B this way. I'm not kidding, folks. This is not a joke. This is not a joke at all. This is exactly what is going to occur here. So again, the packets go this way. Every single time. No exception to the rule here. And you might be saying, that 10 gig link, isn't that so much better? Yeah. But that doesn't matter here right now because we've learned about network B via 2 routing protocols. One's better than the other. Example, EIGRP is my GPS. OSPF is my wife. We're going to Wally World. Do I listen to my wife? No, I listen to my GPS. Same scenario. I don't listen to OSPF. Why? 110 is higher than 90. It's that simple. And this is a concept that you must grasp. It's extremely important because this is used first before we look at the metrics. Now, what if? Let's erase some of this. What if this was OSPF as well? Now we're comparing apples to apples, right? We really are in this case. Both of them are OSPF. Now OSPF says, okay, I've learned about network B via OSPF twice. Let me look at the metric. Well, in this case, 1 gig link, that's a cost of, let's say, 10. Over the 10 gig link, that's a cost of 1. All right, so based on metric, OSPF chooses the 10 gig link. So OSPF would send traffic this way. Okay? Plain and simple. But if we have 2 different sources of routing information, no. As in this scenario, EIGRP wins before we look at the metric.